death is not the end if the movie makes a lot of money at the box office. Leonard Nimoy found out. Um,
Kirk's behind on his child support.
Kirk is a very bad dad. Um, let's see what else. It's the story of how sometimes sequels can be really good when you get Gene Roddenberry out of the editing room.
Yes, because also when you cut down the budget, because in the first one, Star Trek the Motion Picture, the budget was like 35, $40 million, something like that in 1979 money. And then they said, "Hey, this thing barely broke even. So what can you do for 12 million bucks?"
Which is saying something because, as we both read, they had to do a lot of takes to convince William Shatner to sound less like William Shatner.
Yeah, that was how director Nicholas Meyer got him to like this is Shatner's best film for that reason because he had the best possible director to fit him. They just got him to do it over and over again until he kind of got, relaxed
Like,
as it
this is
were.
how you sound like a human.
Yeah. But like a Kirkian human.
You know, one other thing, because for those of you who are listening to these episodes out of order, Derwin and I previously talked about Star Trek Five: The Final Frontier. Um, Now, one thing I was looking for this time, because as we all three of us pointed out, there's a weird sexual tension between, of all people, Scotty and Uhura in Star Trek Five, and I'm kind of watching like, are they dropping hints? Are they just, like flirty looks and whatnot? And no, that just seemed to be out of nowhere.
There's no interaction with them whatsoever, hardly.
Yeah, I'll say that that's kind of true. I think for a lot of the characters, um, I think as it was the case last time, George Takei did not want to come back, so William Shatner begged him. And once again, they didn't really use Sulu.
Well, they were actually going to use him more. And there was a line, and it was recorded, but there's not any footage of it. I just found some audio of it on the internet because I'm that big of a nerd. I might have it written down. Hold, please.
Was the line, "Oh my"?
In this one, set the stage. Kirk, he's an admiral. He's running Starfleet Academy. He's bored. He has to go do an inspection of the Enterprise. Sulu is driving the bus, right? And as Sulu's driving the bus from Earth to Space Dock to find the Enterprise, the line in the movie where Kirk's like, "Oh, we're going to the Enterprise," and Sulu says, "I, for one, am delighted," and it clearly cuts him off mid-sentence, right? Like if you look at his mouth, he's clearly in the middle of a sentence because he's Dorsey K. He goes, "Oh, I get more than two words to say." This is the line. It says, "I, for one, am delighted. Any chance to go aboard the Enterprise, uh, however briefly, is an excuse for nostalgia." And then there's a whole scene where Kirk's like, "Oh, you're gonna captain the Excelsior next month, right?" He's like, "Yep, I'm gonna be captain, just like you, Captain Kirk." And there's this like whole thing where he's being promoted, and they're just like, "No, Sulu's just delighted." For George Takei as a fan, I want him to have more. As an editor who's edited my own books and audiobooks that I've produced, I get it. If you're gonna make a cut, that's where you make it.
I think it kind of doubles as like a meta commentary of like, "Hey, Sulu, we're not really going to use you," and he's just, "I'm just delighted to be here. I've checked the box. We have all of the main characters
I
um,
get a big check.
for doing basically nothing."
Hey, listen.
I will also say this about the Star Trek franchise. So I don't know a lot. I mean, obviously, you know a lot more than I do. Um, so I think it's kind of fascinating. They had like in the 1960s, they assembled this cast of just like struggling actors to fill these parts. Probably not like the top quality, but it was just like, oh, listen, we just need to fill these characters. You guys are affordable unknowns.
Yeah.
Um, and they just committed. So throughout these films, they've still committed to using those same actors, despite having like a bigger
Yeah.
budget and bigger resources. And I thought about that. I don't know the actor's name, but the guy who plays Chekhov,
Walter Koenig.
who
Koenig. Yeah.
is not really very good at doing a Russian accent. So they're just like, you know what? But you're our Chekhov. We're gonna keep you forever, even if we can find like actual Russian actors that could probably do this better.
Yeah. I do love that Chekhov was the one, the only one who like who got out of the Enterprise. He's the only one that like tried, right? And everyone else just kind of worked on the Enterprise for 20 years. And then like another 10 in the movies. Like but that always made me happy. And and that brings me to my favorite line in the movie. It's the biggest line in the movie, but it's delivered by Ricardo Montalban, which I love so much, where Chekhov and his new captain dad are beaming down, thinking, "Oh, this is Ceti Alpha 6. We're trying to find a place to test the Genesis device, but there can't be any life forms. Maybe it's a particle of pre-animate matter." And they get there, and he goes, "Oh, there's a cargo container." And there's a bunch of books in English that are clearly mid 20th century American, right? And then he goes, "Oh, Botany Bay. Wait a minute. Khan." And then, like, I'm thinking, you rolled up on the SETI Alpha system, and you're like, I've never been here before. That would be if a crazy Superman from the past, from like 1650, rolled up to my National Guard unit and tried to kill all of us. It's literally the only thing I would talk about. I talked about Iraq nonstop for 10 years. But anyway, so that leads me to my line where Khan from the original series episode Space Seed walks up to Kirk, Chekhov's captain, and says, "I don't know you." But he turns to Chekhov and says, "But you, I don't forget a face, Mr. Chekhov." And then Chekhov's like, "You lie! On Ceti Alpha 5, there's a fair chance." He goes, "This is Ceti Alpha 5!" I could do the whole fucking movie, Pete. I could do all of it.
I think more than anything, Khan would never forget an accent.
Yes.
And yeah, Chekhov has a very distinctive accent.
Exactly. Like when he says this is SETI Alpha 5, it's so big and it's so broad. And that's him toning it down, right? Nicholas Meyer had two thoroughbred horses and he had to break them in, you know? Because there is a line where Nicholas Meyer talked about how working with Ricardo Montalban. Ricardo Montalban shows up to reprise the character after 15 years, having not done it. And he's just coming in at a 10. And Nicholas Meyer's like, if you show up at a 10, you got nowhere to go. But if you show up at like, a 5, then the audience knows you can go up higher. And I think he took that to mean, oh, I'll show up at a 9.5 and then go to a 10.
There is not a lot of subtle acting choices in this movie,
No.
even with the techniques of kind of exhausting the actors into being more naturalistic.
I haven't. That brings me to my first question for you. So you're a professional actor.
Ish?
You've acted in movies.
I have an IMDb page,
When
if
in
that counts.
acting, how big is too big?
Um, if you make the crew laugh during a serious scene, you're too big.
Yeah. How small is too small?
If you put the crew to sleep,
You know what? That makes a lot of sense.
you just need to find that nice medium.
Yeah, you got to be interesting, but without like overwhelming, but without boring. I like that.
Because the thing is, like, I enjoyed the acting in this movie.
Yeah.
I mean, like, it's a lot like the Star Trek Five, where, like, I think halfway through, Shatner gets. I mean, it's a lot more emotional, but Shatner gets extra Shatnery. Um, no, I think it was interesting. I was reading the IMDb trivia. Um, I'm very happy that Kirstie Alley got to do this movie because I know that she was a
Yes.
big Star Trek fan, and especially was a big fan of Spock. So the fact that she gets to play a Vulcan, is that the species? Half Vulcan?
Well, that brings me to a good point. Uh, In the original shooting script, this is how deep I go in this movie. She was a half Vulcan, half Romulan, which means she was kind of emotional but kind of stoic. And then they're like, "Oh, she'll just be a Vulcan." So yeah, she's a Vulcan in this.
Well, it was interesting to see her play. So I mean, like she's got like some emotions or whatnot.
Yeah,
But I mean, I mostly know her from Cheers,
yeah,
so it was weird seeing her not play a character that has no sense of humor.
yeah, yeah.
So I
But she
mean, it
does
was
like Hot Lieutenant really well, though.
oh yeah,
Yeah.
it was 1982 Kirstie Alley.
Oh my God. So that brings me to another question. In the opening scene, Lieutenant Savick, played by Kirstie Alley, was running through the Kobayashi Maru battle simulator with the bridge crew of the Enterprise serving as the trainee staff. They've received a distress call in the neutral zone, and must go rescue the Maru before the Klingons get there. Question: if you were in the Kobayashi Maru simulator, what would you do?
Go big or go home.
Exactly.
Like here's the thing, like I've always been fascinated by this because like it's how you react to a losing battle.
Yeah.
And I'm like, wait a minute. So I know for a fact I'm not going to. I'm just. It's like playing a video game as a kid. You're just kind
Yeah.
of like, all right, I'm just gonna explode spectacularly.
Yeah.
Like, there's not gonna like I hopefully a professional enough that I'd be like, all right, we're gonna do it by the books. We're gonna do it right. But
Yeah.
at the very end, once everything's like, like people are flying, there's sparks everywhere. You're just like, kamikaze this thing.
Ramming speed.
Oh,
In the opening of the movie, as we catch up with Captain Kirk, he's an admiral running Starfleet Academy. But being an admiral's not really what he wanted. He wanted to be a 29-year-old Starfleet captain. But he was promoted too high, and now he's 50, and he's slowly dying of boredom inside of a midlife crisis. So my question is, what are you going to do with your midlife crisis?
what am I gonna? I'm there.
Yeah.
I don't intend to live to be 100. Um, I became a stand-up comedian and finding that wonderful balance of that plus, job.
Yeah. Try to try to balance both things. Maybe like I'll be the worst person on my kid's PTA board. That'll be
Oh,
fun.
that sounds like a fun job.
Absolutely. So, next question. Uh, while Kirk is in this midlife crisis, Spock is the training captain for the Enterprise. Kirk gets a broken message from baby mama Carol Marcus at Space Station Regular One saying, "Why are you taking Genesis away from us?" The Enterprise is sent to investigate since they're the only ship in the quadrant. It's kind of a common theme in the movies. Kirk asks Spock, "How are these trainees? How do they handle under pressure?" Spock says, "Like all things, each according to their own abilities." Why doesn't Spock know how his people are doing? Is he skating by on a training assignment to round out a 20-year pension? What do you think?
Oh, I would totally do that.
Yeah. Because that's a bullshit answer, right?
I mean, it's a very direct answer.
It's a Vulcan non-answer.
Oh man, I imagine that there's some element of bullshit that Vulcans can do.
Oh,
Where,
constantly.
yeah, it's
Make
like
you,
you're in like a work meeting and your boss asks you for your honest opinion. And you're like, how can I have my cake and eat it too?
yeah. How can I insult him but make him feel flattered?
Sir, the font used in the PowerPoint was very crisp and readable.
Your legibility, sir, is legendary.
You know what else was legendary? That legend you put on the map.
Oh my God, sir.
It
Oh.
was everything was covered. I
Sir,
could.
sir, can I get you coffee? Is that okay?
It's an honor to get you coffee.
Exactly. And then I steal his wallet.
Hey,
While en route to Space Station Regular One, the Enterprise runs into the USS Reliant, which has been taken over by Khan and his superhuman followers, who proceed to beat the crap out of the Enterprise. Kirk FaceTimes Khan, or Khan FaceTimes Kirk, just to let him know who killed him. And I think this shows a pattern with James T. Kirk, people who have a long-standing relationship with him, because they either want nothing to do with him or they want to kill him. Because Jim Kirk dumped Khan on Ceti Alpha 5 15 years before and never bothered to check in. Jim Kirk knocked up Carol Marcus 20 years before, and then she's like, "Nope, you can't count on you, flyboy." So my question for you is how much of this movie's conflict could have been avoided if someone just got Kirk a dog?
Oh, but then we've seen what kind of like a family man he is. So would Kirk be a good dog owner?
Probably not, because
In
it's go ahead.
Yeah, I was just say like I mean we've established he's a workaholic who puts that over everything. And it's like that dog's gonna be neglected.
Yes. In Star Trek Seven Generations, Kirk is in kind of like a space heaven, right? It'll make sense when we get to that one. And he's in like pretend magical space heaven where he meets Captain Picard. And while they're in pretend magical space heaven, uh, Kirk's dog Butler runs up. And he's like, Butler, he's been dead for 7 years. They've never once mentioned Kirk having a dog, by the way. So you're right. Like, I bet he's legally owner of that dog, but like, he's never on Earth. Who has this dog? Did he dump the dog on Carol Marcus too, like their son? Like, after escaping Khan and checking Space Station Regular 1 for survivors, Kirk is asked how he beat the Kobayashi Maru. He tells him he reprogrammed the simulation so he could win, because in his words, I don't believe in the no-win scenario. Pete, you're a stand-up comic. While on stage, have you faced a no-win scenario?
The rap concert is my favorite no-win scenario.
Explain.
Okay, so it was the second ever showcase I was invited to. I'm so excited. It was like, like this is a professional gig, and it was in South Carolina. And I remember I get to the venue, and immediately I'm just like, I don't think this crowd wants to see me. I'm like this nebbishy, like neurotic dad joke spouting, person,
Yeah.
and all these. It was just filled with college age students on a Friday night. And I was kind of like, so I'm talking to the other performers, like, well, what do you do? And they're like, well, I'm a rapper. Well, what do
Yeah.
you do? I'm a rapper. What do you do? I'm a rapper. I'm like, so I'm the only comedian on this lineup full of rappers at a club on a Friday night. Okay, so this is going to be a disaster. So the thing is, I walked into this situation knowing that this was going to be a disaster, but I'm like, let me follow through with this because I can get material out of it. And so, sure enough, like there was like seven rappers that go up, and after they perform, they immediately cycle into the next rapper. And then I was like, well, how are they going to fit me into the lineup? Because there's no easy transition for me. So their approach was to turn the lights on, turn the music off, and tell the audience, all right, we're more than just a music club here. We have a very funny comedian named Pete Barlow, and you're gonna like him. And I'm like, this is gonna be bad. But the
It's
thing is,
like
it was so much easier because I knew it was gonna be bad. And the thing is, it was kind of fun because like it was like everything just kept making it worse for me. Because like I just go up there and I start telling my jokes. Not one person laughed. And there was like 100 people in there, and they're all just like, "What is happening?" And like
I
immediately afterwards, I just went home and like that was weird.
I it's almost it feels like you were someone's dad. And like they just
It,
turned the
it,
lights on and I'm assuming you were in your Hawaiian t-shirt and cargo
yeah,
shorts.
and it was just sort of like yes, exactly. I'm like twice the age of most of the people here, and I'm just like, and my style of humor is dad jokes.
Yeah.
So it's just sort of like, oh man, like it was just the dorkiest like intermission ever. Yeah, like basically I went up there and I was like, good news is I will not be rapping for you tonight. So if you needed to take a bathroom break, now would be a great time. And like half the people would use the bathroom. Like I didn't think about this afterwards, but I was like, all right, the only things I have in common with Eminem is that I'm a white man who was born in Detroit, and I want to throw up my mom's spaghetti right now. The thing is, that's also like referencing a movie that's older than most of the people that were there.
Yeah. Yeah, I it is it is surprising. Like I remember being in high school and 8 Mile came out and like I was deep in Eminem for about 5 minutes because I'm 13, 14. I was surprised when like Anthony Mackie, Captain America, was an 8 Mile. Did not know that.
But yeah, that's my no-win situation. And what did I do? I kamikaze the whole thing.
I have a similar one. So for maybe 4 sets, I was a stand-up comic. And I wrote this set sort of based on Super Mario Brothers and Star Trek II: The Wrath of Khan. You're noticing a theme. And so, but also there was like a lot of like, jokes about how like Kirk and Khan were like secret lovers because like, you don't, if you ghost someone and they want to kill you 15 years later, then the sex has to be incredible, right? Like in my head, that's funny. And so in the theater district where all my like queer friends and army buddies were there and stuff, everyone loved it. I went to a VFW and performed that set for the over 70 crowd. And one woman audibly gasped and said, "What the hell is he talking about?" I heard it. She was 15 feet away, Pete, and I had loudspeakers. Like I had earplugs in because I have hearing damage from gunfire. And at one point, there's people who are like in the back, and it looks like they're waving, and they're waving down. 3, 4 people. I used to be a combat medic. I'm thinking, oh, one of these elderly people is having a heart attack. No, they're trying to get people to turn the lights down, right? And the whole time, because my wife was like, you know what? I'm really proud of you for sticking through that because that was bad. I'm like, I was eyeing that door. Like, I knew where that door was. I'm like, I can run faster than these people, right? They're all 70. They can't catch me. I can go home. I don't need this shit. And, but I pushed through it and it was terrible. And, and the guy was cool enough to be like, "Hey, do you want your cut of the tip money?" I'm like, "No, I never want to come back here. Please don't call me again." I know we kind of made fun of this movie a little bit. I watch this movie like my mama read her Bible. I get something new out of it every time. Whether it's a detail of a costume, especially now that the 4K editions are out, right? I'm the guy who's like, "Oh, it's clearer now. I can see more detail out of the movie." And 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 I love it so much. I'll think about the score sometimes when I have trouble falling asleep.
Yeah, unsung hero of this movie, James Horner. I was shocked that they got. I mean, this is early in his career, but it's still like, oh, okay, get James Horner, and you could like hear the score that he would eventually write for Aliens in this.
Yes.
Um,
I
so I
think
was so happy to have him there.
I think this was his first big credit.
Good for him.
Yeah, I think that this was kind of the credit that made him, or at least the credit that kind of got everything going because like we said before, Star Trek 1 the motion picture was so ridiculously expensive and they're going really cheap so they're like, "Hey, who can we get that's good that won't cost us very much?" And at the time
Who
James
will
Horner.
eventually write the score for Titanic? So
Yeah,
they bet on the right horse.
but James Horner, he was very loyal to the franchise because he knew like oh, this is where my and also too Star Trek in the 80s and 90s horrendously lucrative. But like he knew where his money was made. He's like, "Listen, of course I'm gonna stick around with like Star Trek." You know, like what's her name? Michelle Yeoh, right?
Oh
Ac
yeah, she's good doing a Star Trek thing.
Academy Award winning Michelle Yeoh. She had a run in Star Trek from 2017 to 2019, I want to say, maybe 2020. And then she had Everything Everywhere All at Once, blew up really big, but also loved her character so much that she got her kind of aborted Star Trek TV series made into a movie. And if that sounds familiar, that's the exact story from Star Trek the Motion Picture, which started out as a movie or a TV series and became a movie. And yes, her movie, Section 31, is just as bad as the motion picture. So the
Oh, that's
franchise has
unfortunate.
come full circle.
Okay.
Yeah. So with this in mind, with this movie in mind, as a newbie to Star Trek, as someone who's like familiar with the franchise, appreciates what it's given to the culture, this movie is this set the tone for all the films. This showed what Star Trek could be when everyone's like on firing all thrusters. Um, are you interested in more Star Trek? Do you want to watch more movies? Where's your head at with this?
I'm excited to see the extremes because I know we
Yeah.
talked about doing Star Trek 4, which I've told is really good.
Yes.
Um, I think I just kind of want to see the really good ones and the really bad ones.
Okay. Will do. Next
And
time.
I think we've already done the biggest peak and the biggest valley.
No, there's deeper valleys.
Good. I'm excited.
There's 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 one Star Trek Nemesis. Um
Was that the one with Tom Hardy?
yes.
Yeah, I've seen that. That was bad.
Yeah. That the original cut was 2 hours and 45 minutes.
Gross.
The thing that they put out was an hour and 95. So I'm like, oh, you cut out a third of the movie. Maybe maybe that's why it sucks. I don't know. All right, for Pike's Pillow Talk, my name is Derwin,
My name is Pete.
and we will see you next time.